Have you ever found yourself, just utterly frustrated by an IT service that doesn't quite hit the mark? Maybe it's a system that's just agonizingly slow, or some baffling process that eats up your time, or just that nagging feeling that IT isn't quite speaking the same language as the rest of the business, leaving you feeling kind of adrift in tech jargon. Well, if any of that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place. Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're unpacking ITIL 4. Now, if you're already nodding along, you probably know ITIL, the Information Technology Infrastructure Library. It's basically the globally accepted framework of best practices for IT service management, or ITSM. And it's really all about aligning IT services directly with what your business needs. Maximizing value, minimizing risk. It acts as this practical, systematic approach from when a service is just an idea right through to its retirement. Our mission today isn't just to define ITIL 4. Frankly, you could read a textbook for that. We want to distill its true essence, give you those aha moments, help you understand its pretty profound impact on modern businesses, and really show you how this framework helps turn those common IT challenges into clear pathways for creating real, tangible business value. Think of it as a shortcut to truly understanding how IT can actually drive your business forward.
Exactly. And to really get that transformation, we first have to ground ourselves in what IT service management, ITSM, actually is. At its heart, really, ITSM is the discipline of implementing and managing high-quality IT services, services that genuinely meet business requirements. It's not just about the tech itself, but the whole life cycle, how you design them, deliver them, manage them, and continually improve those services to meet, evolving demands.
Right. And when we talk about the objectives of ITIL and ITSM, it's clearly about so much more than just keeping the servers humming, isn't it? Beyond the obvious goal of improving service delivery and user satisfaction, what are some of those less apparent but maybe equally powerful strategic objectives it helps achieve?
That's a fantastic point, because while keeping the lights on is foundational, ITIL's real power lies in its ability to turn IT into a strategic enabler. We're talking tangible cost reductions through smarter resource use, a big leap in service quality through standardization, and crucially, much more effective risk management. The bigger picture is that ITIL empowers the business to innovate and grow. Why? Because its IT backbone is robust, predictable, and aligned. It turns IT from, just a cost center into a real value driver.
It's fascinating to see how it's evolved, too.
Yeah.
From those early, much more technical versions, ITIL has really transformed. With ITIL 4 bringing in things like Agile and DevOps, is it fair to say it's almost a complete paradigm shift from its origins? Or is it more like a natural progression to meet modern demands?
It's definitely a significant evolution, I'd say, rather than a complete break. ITIL V1 back in '89 was very much about basic IT operations, just keeping things running. V2 and V3 brought in the service lifecycle concept. But ITIL 4, launched in 2019, that's where the framework becomes truly holistic, flexible, and fundamentally value-driven. It's purpose-built for the speed and complexity of today's digital world, where IT isn't just support anymore. It's integrated into the business fabric. It's the framework that finally recognizes that Agile, DevOps, Lean, they aren't just developer fads, they're essential for modern service delivery.
And speaking of that value-driven aspect, we've seen ITIL evolve, but what really makes ITIL 4 a game changer, and maybe where organizations initially stumble, is this idea of value co-creation. This isn't just a buzzword, is it? What does this fundamental shift actually mean for how IT delivers value, instead of just, supporting it?
Absolutely not a buzzword. It's a profound operational shift. It means moving beyond that old "we build it, you use it" mentality. Value co-creation forces IT and the business into a real partnership. It recognizes that value isn't just in the technology itself. It emerges from how that technology is used and the outcomes it enables together with the customer. The surprising insight here, perhaps, is that IT isn't just a cost center. It's an active participant in generating revenue or strategic advantage. But, and this is key, only when it genuinely understands and co-creates that value. Like, a super fast new system isn't valuable in itself if it's spitting out the wrong reports. The value is the accurate, timely decision-making those reports enable, right? And that requires collaboration to define.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so let's unpack a few more of these core concepts, absolutely foundational to ITIL 4. Starting with service itself. We often think of services like products, but in ITIL 4, how is a service defined in a way that really emphasizes this co-creation idea?
Right. So a service is defined as a means of enabling value co-creation by facilitating outcomes customers want to achieve. And crucially, without the customer having to manage the specific costs and risks involved underneath, it's basically a solution that helps customers get something done without them needing to worry about the underlying servers or maintenance or security. Think of it less as an item, more as a capability you provide.
And to really understand how ITIL 4 views value, it brings in utility and warranty. Now, these sound a bit technical, but they seem critical to the user experience. How do they work together to make sure value is actually perceived?
They're really two sides of the same value coin. Utility, sometimes called fit for purpose, is all about what the service does. Does it support the customer's performance? Does it remove some constraint they're facing? So, for example, a video conferencing service's utility is enabling virtual meetings. Simple. Warranty, or fit for use, is about how that service performs. Is it available when you need it? Can it handle the load? Is it secure? It's about the assurance aspect. The surprising pitfall, maybe, is focusing too much on one and not the other. You can have a service with amazing utility, fantastic features, but if it's constantly crashing, poor warranty. The perceived value just tanks. And conversely, a rock-solid, stable system with no useful features also provides no value. You need both.
That's a really crucial distinction. Now, these services, they don't just appear magically. How does ITIL 4 differentiate between a service offering and the service relationship that kind of brings it all to life?
Good question. A service offering is essentially a description of one or more services, designed for a specific target group of consumers. It bundles everything together. The goods, the access you provide, the service actions people can take. So a mobile banking app is a service, right? But the offering might include the app itself, access to online support, and the actions like transferring funds or paying bills. A service relationship, on the other hand, that's the dynamic cooperation between the provider and the consumer. It's the ongoing dialogue, the feedback loops, the collaborative management. That's what truly enables value co-creation over time.
And in any relationship, you need key players.
Yeah.
ITIL 4 identifies several stakeholders. Beyond the obvious service providers and consumers, who else is crucial in this ecosystem, and why is their role so important?
Well, the primary players are indeed the service providers delivering the services and the service consumers. And that consumer group is broad. It includes end users, the actual customers paying for it, and sponsors who authorize the budget. But crucially, ITIL 4 also highlights partners and suppliers. These are your external entities like cloud providers, software vendors, maybe external consultants who contribute to your service delivery. Managing them effectively is often a hidden challenge because their performance directly impacts the value you can deliver to your customers. You're relying on them.
And from the customer's point of view, they want the outcome without the headaches, right? So how does ITIL 4 clarify how service providers manage the underlying cost and risk for the customer? How do they offer that assurance and reliability?
Yeah, ITIL 4 really emphasizes that services fundamentally help customers achieve outcomes without them having to manage all those associated costs and risks. The provider takes on that burden. So for that banking app again, the customer gets to transfer money without worrying about server uptime or data security or the electricity bill for the data center. The provider builds in that assurance, effectively de-risking the experience for the consumer. And this frees up the customer to focus on their core business, which is ultimately the value proposition.
Okay, so when we think about truly building and managing these services effectively, ITIL 4 really pushes for a holistic perspective. It calls this the 4 dimensions of service management. Can you walk us through these, and why is ignoring even one of them kind of like trying to build a table with only 3 legs?
Exactly like that. These 4 dimensions are absolutely crucial for designing, managing, operating services effectively, and they're all deeply interdependent. First, we have organizations and people. This dimension focuses on the structure, roles, the culture, the competence of the people involved. It's often overlooked, honestly, but if your teams are stuck in silos or the culture doesn't support collaboration, even the best tech will fall flat. Think about a company moving from traditional IT support to a highly collaborative DevOps model. That needs a massive cultural shift, not just buying new tools.
Right. Then there's information and technology. This covers the obvious stuff: IT infrastructure, applications, databases, APIs, security tools. But it also includes increasingly modern elements like AI, right? My favorite example here is when AI-driven analytics starts predicting system outages before they happen, based on historical data maybe, moving from reactive firefighting to proactive service.
Precisely. The third dimension is partners and suppliers. This is all about managing your relationships with those third-party vendors and service providers who support your delivery. And it's not just about signing contracts, it's about clear shared responsibilities, robust performance agreements, managing risks together. Think of a SaaS company totally reliant on, say, AWS or Azure. Their partnership isn't just a line item cost, it's foundational. A hiccup with their cloud provider can bring their whole business grinding to a halt.
Yeah, absolutely critical. And finally, value streams and processes. This sounds like how work actually gets done.
Exactly. This dimension is all about how activities are organized, flowing from the initial demand right through to the final delivery, ensuring consistency and quality. Remember that frustrating new hire onboarding process many of us have experienced. A streamlined, ITIL-aligned value stream would integrate HR, IT, facilities, make sure the new employee has their laptop, accounts, workspace ready on day one, a seamless, positive experience. And the critical takeaway here is if you neglect any one of these dimensions, you're setting yourself up for problems. A perfectly designed service with the wrong people or a broken process just won't deliver the value you promised. They're all interconnected. They reinforce each other.
Okay, now let's talk about the master framework that ties all this together. The ITIL Service Value System, or SVS, this isn't just a loose collection of ideas. It's a comprehensive framework guiding how an organization creates, delivers, and continually improves services for value. What are its core components and how do they interact?
Yeah, the SVS is like the holistic blueprint for value creation. It starts with opportunity and demand as inputs, the needs, the possibilities. At its heart are the guiding principles, which are these universal recommendations guiding every action. We'll touch on those more. Governance provides the direction and control, making sure everything's aligned. Then there's the service value chain, or SVC, that's the core operational model, how value is actually created. This is all supported by practices. Those are the organizational resources for getting work done. And finally, continual improvement, which is an ongoing activity to make sure everything evolves with changing business needs.
And it's the interconnectedness of these components that makes the SDS so powerful, right? It ensures consistency, integration, alignment between strategy and day-to-day operations, a cohesive whole that can respond flexibly.
Precisely. And speaking of guidance, those guiding principles you mentioned, they really are your North Star. These 7 universal recommendations guide every decision, every activity, no matter the context. They're like the fundamental rules of engagement.
Let's quickly hit some of the key ones. Focus on value. Seems obvious, but maybe it's where teams stumble most often. It means genuinely understanding what value means to your customers and stakeholders, not just assuming it's about outcomes, not just outputs.
Absolutely. Nailed it. And then start where you are. This is huge. Instead of ripping everything out and starting fresh, ITIL encourages you to look at what you already have, leverage what works, and build incrementally. It avoids that paralyzing boil the ocean approach.
Progress iteratively with feedback. That's the agile influence shining through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Break down big things into smaller chunks, get feedback constantly, learn from it, adapt. It's about constant course correction. What's often underestimated, though, is the discipline needed to consistently gather and actually act on that feedback.
That's very true. And collaborate and promote visibility. Break down those silos. Open communication, knowledge sharing, critical, especially in complex IT environments. It's not about hiding info. It's about sharing insights to solve problems faster, build trust.
Think and work holistically. This links back to our 4 dimensions. No service, no process, no department, not even a supplier operates in a vacuum. Every decision has ripple effects, and ITIL pushes you to consider that end-to-end impact.
Keep it simple and practical. This is a fantastic antidote to over-engineering complex solutions. If a process or a service or even a metric doesn't genuinely add value, get rid of it. Use the minimum steps needed. It's about elegant solutions, not complicated ones.
And finally, optimize and automate. Key for efficiency, but with that crucial warning. Optimize your processes before you automate them. Automating a broken process just means you do broken things faster. Then, leverage technology to ditch repetitive tasks, improve efficiency, free up your people for more valuable work.
Exactly. And these principles aren't just standalone ideas. They interact, they reinforce each other. They help organizations align their service management with their broader business goals. Really powerful when used together.
Now, let's look at the engine of value creation within the SVS. The service value chain, or SVC. You mentioned this isn't a rigid linear process. It's a flexible operational model for creating, delivering, and improving services. How does that flexibility make it so powerful today?
Yeah, the SVC is the operational backbone, but its nonlinear nature is its superpower, really. Activities can be combined in all sorts of sequences. They can happen at the same time. This ensures agility, which is incredibly important for responding quickly and innovating. It's not a checklist, it's more like a dynamic toolkit.
Okay, let's explore those 6 activities, starting with plan. This feels like the strategic foundation, right, where you figure out where you're going.
It absolutely is. Plan ensures everyone has a shared understanding of the vision, the current status, the direction, across all 4 dimensions and all services. Think of it like creating a detailed service roadmap for that new mobile banking app, outlining everything from the tech architecture to the customer experience goals. It gets everyone on the same page.
Then we have improve. This isn't just tacked on at the end, it's integral throughout.
Exactly. Improve is about continually enhancing products, services, practices across all the activities. Imagine doing a post-implementation review after a new service launch. You identify specific areas for enhancement, maybe performance, maybe the user interface. This is where that iterative feedback loop really lives and breathes.
Engage is next. This feels like the heartbeat of that value co-creation idea.
It really is. Engage is all about interacting with your stakeholders, customers, users, suppliers, understanding their needs, ensuring transparency, maintaining those crucial relationships. A service desk proactively gathering user feedback about recurring email outages. Or maybe conducting user interviews before launching a new feature. That's engage in action.
Design and transition. Sounds like where the rubber meets the road for getting services actually ready for use.
It's precisely that. This activity makes sure products and services meet expectations for quality, cost, and time to market. It would include everything from designing a robust self-service portal to preparing the entire organization for its deployment, ensuring smooth adoption and operational readiness, making sure people are ready for the change.
Then, obtain build. This is where the actual components come into existence, like coding or buying stuff.
Correct. Obtain build is where service components become available, whether that's through internal development, buying something from a vendor, or integrating off-the-shelf solutions. So acquiring software licenses and configuring the servers and storage for a new CRM system, that fits right here. It's the moment ideas start becoming tangible.
And finally, deliver and support. This is the ongoing show, the day-to-day running of things.
Exactly. Deliver and support focuses on the ongoing service delivery and user support, making sure the service performs as expected and users get the value they need. Think of your IT support team resolving a high-priority ticket that's impacting payroll access. This is where the customer directly experiences the service's utility and warranty, where immediate value is delivered or maybe restored.
Now in ITIL 4, the concept of processes has broadened into practices. What's the significance of that shift? Why practices instead of just processes? What does that mean for how we think about delivering value?
That's a great question. The shift from processes to practices really signifies a more holistic and flexible approach. A practice isn't just a rigid set of steps like a process flowchart. It's a comprehensive set of organizational resources, people, information, tech, partnerships, all designed for performing work or accomplishing a specific objective. It acknowledges that real-world operations are dynamic. They require more than just following steps. ITIL 4 defines 34 of these practices across 3 categories: general management, service management, and technical management.
Okay, rather than listing all 34, let's zoom in on a few crucial core practices, the ones that probably impact our listeners' daily work the most. Starting with incident management. This is really the front line of IT support, right?
Absolutely. The objective of incident management is pretty straightforward, but utterly critical. Restore normal service operation as quickly as possible and minimize the negative impact on business operations. Think of it as the IT emergency room. You're stabilizing the patient, minimizing the immediate chaos. Activities include detection, logging, prioritization, diagnosis, resolution. So for example, if a user suddenly can't access their email, the service desk's immediate goal is to restore that service fast, maybe within 30 minutes, to limit disruption. The surprising thing here: how many places still struggle with prioritization, treating every incident like a 5-alarm fire?
Yeah, I can see that. Then there's problem management. This often gets confused with incident management, but it's a completely different beast, isn't it?
Fundamentally different. While incident management is about the immediate fix, the firefighting, problem management's objective is to identify and manage the root causes of incidents. The goal is to prevent them from happening again, or at least minimize the impact if they do. This involves identifying problems, doing thorough root cause analysis (RCA), and implementing workarounds or permanent fixes, which is called error control. Imagine those recurring database outages that keep hitting you. Problem management would lead the investigation, Maybe trace the root cause to a memory leak in the application code, which then gets permanently patched. The surprising insight here is that investing in problem management isn't just about preventing future outages, it dramatically reduces the sheer volume of incidents, freeing up your service desk for other things.
And then change enablement. This used to be called change management, and it often got a bad rap for being too slow, too bureaucratic. How has ITIL 4 evolved this practice to be more agile, less of a roadblock?
You're right, the name change itself to change enablement signals a shift, from gatekeeping to actually facilitating beneficial changes. The objective is to maximize the number of successful IT changes by ensuring risks are properly assessed and managed while still allowing for speed and agility. ITIL 4 categorizes changes. Standard changes are low risk, pre-authorized, like routine patch updates. Normal changes need assessment, authorization, scheduling, often via a change advisory board or CAB. Emergency changes need expedited approval due to urgency. The surprising element, I think, is how modern organizations are integrating change enablement with their DevOps pipelines. They're automating low-risk changes, building checks into the tooling, all without heavy manual approval, while still keeping tight controls for critical systems.
And finally, the service desk. This is often the user's first, maybe only, interaction with IT. What's its core objective, and how has its role maybe expanded?
The Service Desk's core objective is to be the single point of contact, the SBOC, between the service provider and the users. They are literally the face of IT. Their functions include handling incidents, fulfilling service requests, and providing crucial communication back to users. Think of a user calling the help desk for a forgotten password reset. The agent verifies their identity, resets it, resolves the issue right there. What's surprising, perhaps, is how many service desks are moving beyond just reactive support. They're becoming more proactive, using self-service portals, knowledge bases, even chatbots to empower users and deflect common, simple issues. This significantly improves user satisfaction and frees up agents.
Okay, let's talk about continual improvement. This isn't a one-and-done project. ITIL 4 embeds it right at the core. By a straightforward 7-step model, right? It's really about this constant loop. What's the vision? Where are we now? Where do we want to be? How do we get there? Take action. Did we get there?
Yeah.
But what's often underestimated, I think, is that final step. How do we keep the momentum going? Because without that, even brilliant improvements can just fizzle out over time.
You've hit on a critical point there. That seventh step, sustaining momentum, is absolutely where many organizations falter. It's not enough to just implement a change. You need to embed it, monitor its effectiveness, and then proactively look for the next opportunity for improvement. It's a cycle. This iterative model ensures that services, practices, all the elements of the SVS constantly evolve to meet changing business needs. It prevents stagnation and ensures you keep delivering value long term.
And when we talk about responsibilities within these practices and processes, ITIL 4, like much of the business world, leans on the familiar RCI model: responsible, accountable, consulted, informed. But while it seems simple, where do you often see teams get tripped up when applying RCI to complex ITIL practices?
That's an excellent question because RCI, while it's everywhere, is often misapplied. The biggest gotcha is usually with accountable. People sometimes assume multiple individuals can be accountable, or they confuse it with being responsible. But for real clarity, ITIL emphasizes there should only be one accountable person per task or decision. Just one. That single point of accountability drives clarity and ensures someone is ultimately on the hook for making sure it gets done right. So for our incident management example, the service desk agent might be responsible for logging the incident initially, but the IT operations manager is accountable for the overall effectiveness of the incident resolution process, making sure it meets targets. The technical support team is consulted for their expertise, and the affected users are kept informed about the status.
It provides such clear lines of ownership when used properly. Now, it's also vital to understand how ITIL 4 aligns with those modern methodologies we mentioned earlier: Agile, DevOps, Lean. It's not about replacing them, is it? It's more about providing a framework for them to thrive within service management.
Precisely. ITIL 4 doesn't replace these methodologies. It provides a comprehensive management framework that helps organizations effectively integrate them. Agile offers iterative development for rapid delivery. DevOps connects development and operations for faster, more reliable releases. Lean focuses on cutting waste and improving flow. ITIL 4 acts as the glue, the overarching structure, ensuring that these high-velocity approaches are still aligned with overall business strategy, risk management, service quality objectives. It provides the how to make all those pieces work together effectively for customer-focused delivery.
Let's bring this to life with some real-world examples. Make all this theory a bit more concrete. Can you share a surprising win you've seen with ITIL?
One that always comes to mind is a global bank. They were really struggling with slow incident resolution times, and it was significantly impacting their customer experience. By adopting ITIL-aligned incident management, consolidating their service desk, and crucially, empowering their frontline agents with better tools and training, they managed to reduce their average incident resolution time by a staggering 40%. 40%. The surprising element wasn't just the speed improvement, but the ripple effect, a massive boost in customer satisfaction scores, and actually improved compliance with their regulatory SLAs. It transformed a customer pain point into a competitive advantage.
That's huge. 40% is massive.
Right.
What about a scenario where the problem was deeper, maybe not just single incidents, but recurring issues?
Yeah, I recall a leading telecom provider. They were battling these really frustrating recurring voice call drops. Customers were obviously very unhappy. Traditional incident management was just, patching the symptoms each time. By adopting structured problem management and performing a detailed root cause analysis, which eventually revealed an unstable software patch was the hidden culprit, they addressed the core issue. Fixing it led to about a $500,000 annual reduction in support costs just from not dealing with those calls constantly, and a 25% increase in service availability. The surprising part for them was realizing how much hidden costs those recurring problems were truly incurring, far beyond just the direct support time.
And how about an example of change enablement working with the speed of modern development?
Yeah.
Because it often feels like those two concepts are fighting each other.
Not at all, if done right. I know a mid-sized software firm that actually merged ITIL change enablement practices directly into their DevOps pipeline. Instead of slowing things down, they categorized changes intelligently, automated approvals for the low-risk stuff, and integrated their change process directly into their deployment tools like Jenkins or Azure DevOps. The result? They reduced change failure rates by 30% while simultaneously maintaining the stringent regulatory audit readiness they needed. The surprising takeaway was that formal controls didn't have to kill agility. They could actually enable it by building trust and predictability into the process.
To achieve these kinds of benefits, though, essential tools and automation seem absolutely key. We're definitely not talking about manual spreadsheets here anymore. What are some of the go-to ITSM tools that help organizations implement ITIL effectively?
Indeed, modern ITSM platforms are pivotal. Things like ServiceNow, BMC Remedy, Jira Service Management, Freshservice. They're very popular for a reason. They offer powerful capabilities, automation workflows, configuration management databases, or CMDBs, which are crucial for understanding all your IT assets and their relationships, and sophisticated self-service portals for users. They really transform manual, disjointed processes into integrated, efficient operations.
And how are automation and AI continuing to transform this landscape? It feels like we're just scratching the surface.
We truly are. We're seeing AI-powered ticketing using natural language processing (NLP) to automatically classify and prioritize incoming issues, which significantly speeds up getting them to the right team. Robotic process automation (RPA) is handling repetitive tasks like password resets or basic account creations, freeing up human agents. Self-service portals and chatbots are getting smarter, empowering users to find solutions themselves 24/7. And automated workflows are streamlining everything from complex change approvals to fulfilling standard service requests. These aren't just small improvements, they're fundamentally shifting how IT services are delivered and experienced.
It really sounds like a revolution in efficiency and user experience. Okay, so finally, how do we measure success in this ITIL 4 world? Because that old saying holds true. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it, right?
Exactly. Effective service management absolutely relies on robust performance measurement and, crucially, clear alignment with business goals. Some core key performance indicators, KPIs, in ITIL 4 include first call resolution, FCR. That's the percentage of incidents resolved on the very first contact. It's a huge indicator of efficiency and user satisfaction. We also look at SLA compliance rate. Are you meeting your agreed service levels? That indicates reliability. Mean time to restore service, MTTR, the average time to get service back after an incident. That's critical for incident management effectiveness. Lower is better, obviously. And change success rate, the percentage of changes implemented without causing further incidents or outages. That reflects mature, effective change enablement.
And for the customer side, things like customer satisfaction or CATAT, usually gathered via surveys after an interaction. That provides those crucial, actionable insights for continuous improvement. Plus, you've got core metrics like service availability uptime and request fulfillment time, how quickly you handle standard requests. It rounds out the picture, giving a holistic view of IT's impact.
Right. And these metrics, when combined with smart value tracking strategies like explicitly aligning IT metrics with business goals, using dynamic dashboards for real-time monitoring, and actively using feedback loops ensure IT services truly contribute to the desired business outcomes,
Hmm.
moving way beyond just technical performance.
Now, for those of you listening who are keen to maybe deepen your expertise, ITIL offers a pretty clear certification path. It usually starts with the ITIL 4 Foundation. That's the entry-level cert covering key concepts, the SVS, guiding principles, the SVC, core practices.
Then, for practitioners doing the day-to-day work, there's the ITIL 4 Managing Professional stream. That has modules like Create, Deliver, and Support, Drive Stakeholder Value, High Velocity IT, and Direct, Plan, and Improve. And for those in leadership roles, there's the ITIL 4 Strategic Leader stream, focusing more on strategy and direction. That includes modules like Direct, Plan and Improve Again, and Digital and IT Strategy. The highest level ITIL Master requires demonstrating real-world application and holding advanced certifications.
And just so you know, PeopleCert is the exclusive examination institute for all official ITIL certifications, and training is widely available from accredited training organizations or ATOs around the world.
And that brings us towards the end of our deep dive into ITIL 4 today. I think it's clear that ITIL 4 isn't just some rigid set of rules anymore. It's really a flexible, value-driven system. It's designed for IT to truly serve business needs, shifting the focus from just the technology itself to delivering tangible, measurable outcomes.
So as you go about your day, maybe consider this. In an age where digital services are absolutely paramount for pretty much every business, how might a deeper understanding of ITIL 4 empower you, not just to manage technology, but to actively co-create and deliver tangible business value in your own role, in your own sphere? What steps could you take, maybe starting tomorrow, to apply even just one of these principles, like focus on value or progress iteratively with feedback, to your daily work or maybe to your organization's challenges? Something to think about.